Hello and welcome back to the Colorado Rockies franchise. Last time we took on the Dodgers in a couple of series and also faced off against the Mariners. Today we're going to head past the trade deadline. Before we move on to any sort of games or anything else, let's talk about a couple waiver claims we made last episode. Brian Mata, one of the guys we got from the Red Sox. I don't know why they let him go. He seems like he has a pretty high ceiling, but we'll take him. And we also got Jay Groom. So a couple of starters that I think have high enough ceilings that they could be a pretty big impact on our Major League roster in the future. And this trade, this is like the second or third time the Padres had offered for Robert Stevenson. And I was really going back and forth whether or not to actually just take the deal. Because, I mean, looking at like Victor Caratini, he's an okay hitter, okay defender, he's a switch hitter. He's down at AAA for them. He's struggling down there in a couple games, but I think that's just more like a frustration thing. So I do see the fit of him getting moved. And Robert Stevenson, he has been okay. He's been better. He was terrible at the start of the year, and he's been better since then. He strikes out a lot of guys. They both have about the same amount of service time left. But then we'd have to move on from either Elias Diaz or Dom Nunez. And I'm okay with moving on from one of them. The other reason, Robert Stevenson, he does give them some depth in the bullpen. And if they're making a playoff run, I could see it. Luis here, he's their backup catcher. And he's been killing it. And he's 22. And they have Austin Nola. So they don't really have a need for Rick Caratini. So we are actually going to take this deal. But there's also going to be a player to be named later going back to the Padres. And it's not going to be Heath Holder. Because we're actually going to be calling him up to replace Stevenson in the bullpen. And we're going to option Dom Nunez for now down to the minor leagues, hitting a sub 170 on his career. Yeah, and we'll move on to these box scores for this series as we start to move along towards the trade deadline. We lose game one here, 5-2. Mustered only 5 hits. Larnack had a couple of them. Senzatello to actually get the start there and take the loss, unfortunately. And we'll move on to game 2. He'd win 2-1, scoring a run in the 9th inning. Larnack another 2 hits, including a home run. He's really been pretty good so far. Garcia would get a no decision, unfortunately, but still pitched really well. We're going to watch game number 3 here between Herman Marquez and Griffin Canning. See, we are way out of the playoff race. Angels still 2 games under 500. They still got an outside chance. We're going to jump to the top of the third where Trevor Larnach's going to line it to center field. And he's going to continue that hot streak, getting a solo home run right over the outstretched glove of Mike Trout there, leaping at the wall. But we'll take that. And we see Victor Caratini actually getting the start today. He's going to ground out the middle, so he gets a base hit in his first at-bat. Here's a Rocky. Nice to see that. Ruben Odor, he's going to walk, so the Rockies in business maybe. Got 2 on, nobody out. Top of the order up. Raimel Tapia, he's going to chop it. Might be a little too slow hit to turn 2 as Tapia hustles down the line. He beats it out. So we got first and third and 1 out. And Duhar's going to ground it right to Walsh, though, and they're going to turn 2. So we leave runners on there. Fortunately, just a 1-0 lead after all that. All right, moving to the bottom half of the inning where Suzuki's getting a leadoff walk. Marquez trying to keep this 1-run lead. He's giving up a bloop single on the hit and run. So they got runners at first and second and nobody out. But you got Taylor Ward up. And he's going to line it to left field. Ramirez running back. Dives for it. Oh, it gets over him. But they're not going to score a run because they didn't know if that would be caught or not. And he gets it in quickly. So bases loaded and nobody out for the Angels. And top of the order up. David Fletcher, he's going to pop it up on the infield. So we get 1 out. And now we have Luis up here. Need a ground ball, and he's going to get just that to second. Will it turn 2? Get 1, and they get 2, so they avoid any runs after having the bases loaded with nobody out. Move to the top of the 6th. Still just a 1-0 ball game here for the Rockies. Miguel Andujar, he's going to walk on a pitch that probably should have been called a strike. So 2 on. Charlie Blackmon. Nobody out still, and he's going to line it past the first baseman. It's going to roll all the way to the corner here. It's going to be a double, and it's going to score 1 run. So it's an RBI double from Blackmon. I can say 2-0 ball game as you see him excited there. Ryan McMahon up. He's going to chop it out in front of first base in the mound, and Quintana has no play at the plate, so he just takes the out at first base. But it's a 3-0 ball game. And then a pop-up on the infield here from Ramirez. So now there's 2 outs with the runner at third for Greg Bird. And he's going to swing and miss at a fastball up and in. Still, Rockies take a 3-0 lead. So we move to the top of the 8th. Raimel Tapia driving it to left here. It's going to be off the diving glove of the left fielder here. He's going to race in a second and slide in, and it's a double. He beats the tag. So we got a leadoff double from Tapia. It's 15th on the season. Ryan McMahon, he's going to pop it up on the infield after a couple of walks. So we got the bases loaded. Now with one out. And Harold Ramirez up. And he's going to walk, so they're going to walk in a run. 3 walks in the inning now. Look at this 4-0 ball game. Greg Bird with 2 strikes on him. He goes down looking. Striking out again with runners on. Trevor Larnack, who's already homered in the game. And he's going to just chop it out in front of the mound. And they're just going to flip it to the plate for the out. So they leave the bases loaded again. But it's 4-0. Rocky's going to go to Heath Holder, making his major league debut. He worked hard for this. And he's out here striking out the first guy he sees. So he gets his first career MLB strikeout. Nice moment for him here. Heath Holder hopes to break through and stick in the big leagues. He's actually going to get a 1-2-3 inning, striking out David Fletcher here, who does not strike out too often. And the Rockies would hold on, winning 4-0 here. Marquez would get his 6th win on the season. Tapia hitting leadoff, got 2 hits. Nice to see him keep, hopefully that average keeps climbing up. That's what he's supposed to be there for. Marquez gave up no earned runs through 6. Nice job. Now we're going to move on to this Padres series. We get out of there. Let's see what happens here as we're going to win game 1 and lose game 2. And you can see Andujar with 3 hits. Diaz had a couple. Everybody got a hit in the lineup there. Nice to see that. No decision for Lopez, who was not his best. Save for Bart is 19th. And then game 2 here, we'd lose 5-3. Tapia getting 3 more hits. Loss would go to Martinez there out of the pen. Rodolfo a little bit struggling here lately, unfortunately. Now we're at the trade deadline. So we got a couple of minor moves we're going to be making here. You can see this is the trade deadline. We're way out of it. But first move we're going to be making is sending Kyle Freeland out of here. Give him a second chance with some other team. He just hasn't worked out in the rotation or the pen, unfortunately. He still has a couple years left of team control. And we're actually going to be sending him here to the Rangers for Sam. He's a relief pitcher. He could also start if he needed to. 30 years old. He's still got team control. And he's got a cheaper contract. So again, this is more of a move to just save money and get Kyle Freeland a chance to maybe catch on somewhere else. The Rangers, who have done this before. Second move we're going to make here, we're going to make a trade for Luis Brinson. Now, we could have just done Elias Diaz straight up for Luis Brinson. So that A potential that you see next to his name doesn't really matter. It just doesn't. He's not really like a true A potential. It's just kind of there because he kind of has to be, I guess. Leon Fernandez, he's a fireball relief pitcher we're sending. Elias Diaz, he's going to be more of a backup catcher since they got Jorge Alfaro. He has 1 year left of team control. Again, this move is going to save us money. The reason we're giving them Fernandez is because we're also giving them Bonifacio, who had his best career season with the Marlins. And it's going to free us up some money so he gets to go there and retire because I'm assuming he's not sticking around. Brinson, we all know about the Yelich trade. He was supposed to be the star, but has not worked out. And I think it's time for him to get another chance with another team. And why not us? I think he's a good defensive outfielder who could fit out there in center field, cover a lot of ground, and hopefully take away a ton of hits. And again, hitting, most players just hit at Coors. So the hitting, I'm not too worried about. And the player to be named later in that Padres deal is actually going to be Greg Bird. So we're going to be sending him to the Padres in division, to go along with Robert Stevenson. He has 1 year left of team control if they really want it. Very cheap contract. You can see they have some injuries there and need some depth for a playoff run that they're going to be making. And we're just going to get back Aaron Northcraft and release him because we had to in order to make the trade actually work. Let's move on to this Padres series. It's game 3. Tapia here leading off the top, with 1 out, getting a base hit. So we got a 1-out base runner. Miguel Andujar up. Denison Lamet has had a fantastic season so far. And Duhar is going to bloop this into center field. And Tapia is going to go first to third and slide in safely. So we got runners at the corners with 1 out. Bring up Charlie Blackmon. He's going to ground it past the shortstop. Tatis here. So he's got an RBI single. Got a 1-0 lead for the Rockies. Ryan McMahon, who's been better since the All-Star break. He's going to strike out here on the heater way out of the zone for out number 2. Now we got Rugnidadur He goes down looking on a questionable call. He knows it. It was way up out of the zone. That's strike 3 called. Let's move on to the bottom half of the inning where Grisham's getting a leadoff double down the line. It hits off the bag. Nice play by Tapia there, playing it perfectly off the wall, though. Bring up Brian O'Grady, the DH for the Padres. He's lining this to left field. Tapia racing back. Watches it hit off the top of the wall. And this is going to drive in a run as there's no play to be made at the plate. Tied at 1 again. Tommy Pham, he's going to line this to center field. Sam Hilliard out there in the outfield. He's going to make the play, but they're going to try to test his arm, and the throw is way offline. So he tags and makes it to third. Bring up Kim. He's going to fly to left field, and that misplay, or the bad throw, is actually going to cost the Rockies a run here. Making it a 2-1 Padres lead. Jump ahead to the bottom of the 5th, where O'Grady, he's hitting a fly ball to right center field. We see Vimael Machine out there making the play, but they almost collide out there in the outfield. Machine, usually a utility infielder. He can play some outfield, though. But needs to, I guess, adjust to his teammates. He's one guy we called up after all the trades we made. Padres getting a couple of base runners here with a couple base hits back-to-back. So now they got runners at first and second with 1 out. And Tatis up. Senzatella getting up a line drive to left. Tapia going to have to try to throw him out at the plate, but the throw is way offline yet again. So it's a 3-1 lead. Now he's facing Machado, and he's going to get a fly ball to center field. Hilliard's going to be able to make a play, and the runner is going to not tag up to third base. So Hilliard makes a better throw this time. And that would be all for Senzatella. They're going to go to Bowden here and hope to get out. He's taking on the lefty Hosmer. A 2-2 count. Hosmer's 0 for 2 on the day. He strikes out looking on the high heater for out number 3, keeping it just a 2-run ball game. Let's move ahead to the top of the 7th, where Brendan Rodgers is getting a leadoff base hit. Hoping to start a comeback rally here. If you remember Craig Stammen, he was part of that no-hitter against us earlier in the season as he closed it out. It's going to be a wild pitch here in the dirt. So got a runner advancing to second there in Rodgers. Vimael Machine up. 2-1 count. He's going to ground this up the middle. Might be his too slow hit to throw the runner out the plate. He's actually going to get an RBI single here for his first hit as a Rocky. Nice job there from the utility infielder / outfielder. And actually, Brincino here, he's going to line this to the right field corner. He's going to get a double here. Runner's going to stop at third. Briseño with a double for his first hit as a Rocky. He's our backup catcher currently, as Nunez is still in the minors. Tapia is going to get a 2 RBI single here, giving the Rockies a 4-3 lead as they come back. Still nobody out in the inning. Tapia, very hyped about that. After a walk, we got Charlie Blackmon up in a 1-1 count. He's going to ground it off the glove of the diving second baseman Kim. Tatis tries to throw Blackmon out at first, and it's offline. And they're going to give him an error. I don't know about that. That's a tough error for Tatis. Weird scorekeeping there, I think. Now bases loaded. McMahon's going to get a base hit to right field here. It's going to score 1. They're going to try to score 2, sending the runner home, and the throw is offline. Rockies adding on, making this a 6-3 ball game. And Odor, he's finally going to make the first out of the inning, flying out to center field. But the runner from third, Blackman's going to tag, increasing the lead 7-3. Tatis makes it a closer play than it should have been with a strong throw. Let's move on to the top of the 8th, where Briseño is going to get a leadoff walk. Now Tapia up. He's going to walk, so putting runners on first and second. Nobody out. And Duhar up. He's going to walk on a pitch way out of the zone. So bases loaded and nobody out. Charlie Blackmon up. He's going to get a hold of it and send it to right field. Will Myers takes a bad route to it, but he's going to be able to make the play. And Briseño is going to tag from third. Score, making this a 8-3 ball game. Ryan McMahon up. 2-2 count. He's going to chop it to Hosmer, who's going to throw to second for 1, and they return throw to first. Is in time. Double play. 8-3, though, in the bottom of the 9th. So we see Sheffield getting the strikeout here to start things, facing the top of the order and Tommy Pham. Sheffield's out here in his second inning of work. He's actually going to strike out Kim. So we got two down here. Rockies 1 out away from winning this. Got Tatis up at the plate, though, and he's going to walk. Now it's down to Machado. Sheffield just needing 1 more out. It's a full count. He's going to get a fly ball to right field. Machine running back. He's going to make the play. So Rockies win 8-3. See a couple of hits there for Rogers and Tapia. Nice game all around pretty much from the offense. Senzatella gets a no decision, but that's okay. I guess he really didn't have the energy to keep going anymore. Let's go through some trades that have been going around the league in the month of July. You can see the Twins adding even more. Brewers getting Alberto Mondesi from the Royals for a package of a couple players, and Mancini, he's going to play some first and probably some outfield for the Reds. Some teams making some playoff pushes. Matt Olson to the Twins. He's actually struggled mightily this season. But, I mean, hey, Twins want to add on and try to make a playoff push. And not only that, a World Series push. I like their roster. Jacob Junis going to the Red Sox. You can see the Red Sox are big buyers, getting Galvis, Junis, and a bunch of other guys. The A's are probably the biggest sellers we've seen. Look at they selling Mark Canha here to the Red Sox for a package of gold players. Red Sox also getting Tony Watson, a relief pitcher. Man, Kenyon Middleton, if you remember him, he was very good against us as the Mariners relief pitcher. He struck us out with a nasty changeup a couple times. He's going to the Red Sox. Twins getting Trevor Rosenthal for a couple players. He's a fireball righty. Rays getting Jesus Aguilar for one of their top prospects, actually, in Edwards there, who's a middle infielder. Chris Bassett, remember, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, he went to the Twins. Yeah, those are the big trades as we end the month of July, and we're past the trade deadline. And we'll take a look at the last game we played against the Padres. We'd win lose 10-9 and not 10 innings. Daniel Bard got shelled there at the end of the game, unfortunately, and taking a loss. That's going to be all for today's episode. Tell me what you think of the trades we made. So we'll see you next time.